Welcome to the Nuggcast, the only weekly gaming podcast where every host is a quadrilateral. My name's Rowan.
I'm Micah.
I'm Georgia.
And I'm Ryan.
This week we're going to be talking about some news and then talking about game Thomas Was Alone.
And then we'll be talking about some other games we've been playing this week.
Yeah, a couple.
So Ryan, you had an update on some news we talked about last week.
Yes, I do. So, Outlast 2. So, last we heard from them, they were refused classification in Australia because a scene of implied sexual violence. So, basically, they did not modify anything at all, and the classification board got back to them and said, oh no, actually, it's fine.
Wasn't it explicit sexual violence?
No, it was implied sexual violence.
Oh, okay.
I very much thought it was explicit.
Yeah, I
when
thought
you
they just
saw
straight
it,
up showed it.
Maybe even acted it out.
Yeah, no, it was implied.
Okay.
So basically what happened was, when they sent the classification board the files that they needed to send them, they accidentally included some video footage from an alpha build that happened to have a scene that implied sexual violence. That part isn't actually in the main game. So as soon as the classification board found out, oh, hey, this is an extra game file, you've actually sent us the entire game, and the game doesn't have it, they're like, oh no, this is fine.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So the classification board doesn't play the games. That's good to know.
Well,
No, they
did.
specifically played the games.
They specifically played the games, but
They
before
also
they
go
played the
through all
game...
the files.
Yeah, before they played the game, they
okay.
watched the video file that was supplied with it,
Right.
and they're like, based on the video file, they're like, no, that's implied sexual violence, boom.
Yeah.
But then they actually played the game and noticed, hey, this is alpha footage.
Right.
And yeah, so they've judged it based on that. They didn't have to resubmit anything, and they've accepted it, and they're like, yep, this is all good. So it's
Good job then,
effectively a...
board.
Yeah.
Yeah, good job, board.
Yeah. Yeah. Every now and then, a game gets a classification that just confuses me. Like, why is Far Cry Blood Dragon R18?
Not sure.
Because that's like it's just like a more
Isn't it
colourful
the
Far
drug
Cry.
use?
Yeah,
it would be the
there's
drug use.
drugs, and I
Yeah.
think there's a sex scene, but it's like a fucking SNES sex scene or whatever, so I don't really know.
A snack scene.
It's
did
stuff that would be stuff that would be MA15 plus in Australia, for movies, but because it's a video game,
It gets beaten on, boy.
sure does. So, Joy-Cons.
Joy-Cons.
Nintendo has finally recognized, they're like, yeah, there's a problem with some left Joy-Cons. It's like, oh good, thank you for finally recognizing that. What they came out in a statement to say is that it's not a hardware issue, it's a manufacturing variation.
So a hardware issue.
Well, so here's what they've specifically said. There's no design issue with the Joy-Con controllers and no widespread proactive repair or replacement effort underway. A manufacturing variation has resulted in wireless interference with a small number of left Joy-Cons. Moving forwards, this will not be an issue as the manufacturing variation has been addressed and corrected at a factory level.
Unless, if their definition of a small amount is almost every person that got a review copy.
Well, that's exactly the point. Like, also the thing, a small manufacturing variation, like, people have found the issue is a big hunk of metal that is in the controller. Like, how is that, like, it's not a small manufacturing variation.
Yeah, it's
like,
a hunk of metal.
It's a hunk of metal. So, they've said, if you have this problem, we have a simple fix for you.
Cool.
The simple fix is to stick conductive foam to a very specific point on the Joy-Con so that it extends the antenna outside of the Joy-Con because it's got this conductive foam stuck to the outside of it.
Okay, how much is conductive foam?
I don't know.
What is it also?
I really don't think that you'll be able to buy it in such a small amount that you'll need.
And also the fact, like, now there's a bit of foam stuck to your Joy-Con. Like, that's not a
Ooh.
good thing to have
There's a
on the
market for
outside.
that, though.
Wait, is
Like,
that on the outside that you have to put
On
it
the outside, you can't take them apart. That's voiding a warranty.
Yeah.
You very specifically need to stick a piece of conductive foam to the outside of the Joy-Con.
It makes it look nice and fresh and comfy. But no, there's a market for that. Like, fucking GameStops and EB Games can start being like, bring in your Joy-Cons, give us $10. We have a
We'll
shipment of
stick-
conductive foam.
Stick some foam on it.
We should do that, you guys.
We should do it.
Nuggcast Switch repairs.
Can be the Joy-Con boys.
That'll be what we refer to ourselves as for sure.
The Nuggcons. That's terrible. Don't laugh at that.
No, I like it.
All right. In a story of people are being dicks, but this is an excellent way of handling people being dicks. So an artist for Naughty Dog, her name is Alex Neokasis. So basically what happened was she tweeted out, this is the specific tweet that I'm reading out, pulls you in close, whispers in your ear, and our intersectional feminist ideas are here with us, kisses you on the lips. So, like, obviously, like a joke thing, like.
Well,
just-
that's
Yeah.
a thing that like it's a format that it's a little meme.
It's a meme.
It's a meme format that
Um.
you fill in the blanks with, you know.
Oh, okay.
So someone responded to this tweet, and that's why you are cancer, you sexual assault psycho bitch.
Oh,
And
okay.
She's like, oh, okay. So what she tweeted out was, we are in your AAA, indie, mobile, PC, console, board, card, hardcore, and casual. We're in all of them. Sorry about it. Referring to women, obviously.
Yeah.
And basically, they got responses like, eventually you're going to go away, you all will, #Gamergate.
Oh, God.
Oh boy, great.
If there's something I've thought for the past couple of years, it's I miss Gamergate.
Yeah.
Ooh.
So in possibly the best response to this, Alex donated $500 for Girls Make Games,
Hell yeah.
which is a charity that supports women in the games industry.
It supports young girls and aims to get them into game development. So it's
I
really
like that.
cool. Yeah.
And they have like camps and stuff. It's real good.
We need more bitches in the industry.
We do.
We sure do. So what happened after that was a whole bunch of developers, including developers from Blizzard, Disney, the directors of Uncharted 4 and Firewatch. They all donated as well. They're like, yeah, we
Okay.
support this.
That's real
So,
cool.
yeah, and so she just kind of started a thing where a bunch of money ended up getting donated to it, and she's, very specifically in the comments of the donation that she made, she dedicated it to the two people that tweeted her and said, thank you for making this happen.
Yeah, I was
Oh, I
about to
love
say,
that
I was
so much.
just about to say, I love that this all started from someone being a dick.
Yeah.
And then it's like, hold on, we can make this great. I love that shit, dude.
And it's, like, honestly, it shouldn't take donating $500 to a charity to stop people from attacking people online.
It's not
But,
stopping
well,
anybody,
it's
like,
not stopping
really.
anyone, but it's, it's a good thing.
It is.
It's a nice way of handling it.
She turned people's actions into a nice little thing, and then other people followed suit, and it's nice.
Nah, she should have deleted her social media and cancelled Fez 2.
That's
Yeah.
the only way to handle Twitter criticism.
Yeah.
It really is.
Obviously.
Trying to remember that guy's name.
Phil Fish.
Okay.
Fishy boy.
Fishy boy.
One of the reasons why this charity even exists in the first place is because only 22% of employees that are a part of the game industry are actually female.
Oh,
And
okay.
that's not just like development, that's everybody.
Yeah, like the
Yeah.
So
entire
it's
industry.
like HR and stuff as well
No.
would
Ah,
be
yeah.
included. So
Yeah, like your marketing, art, everything
Yeah.
would be included.
Yeah.
PR.
And that's...
art is a part of the game industry,
Yes.
like directly making it, but like the marketing and the HR and stuff are more of the business side of things. But art is, my point was like it's even less females having directly having input on making games.
Which is a point that's to be brought up because they're like... you see people online like specifically
Well,
about
like,
the girls make
even-
games. Why isn't there a boys make
Yeah,
games?
even today we were
Ah,
talking about that with
love
some of
that.
our peers, and yeah, that was That was one of the first comments.
Why isn't there boys make
Yeah,
games?
why isn't there? Because they're doing it already.
Yeah, I was going to say, if you look at the any games course, you don't need a boys make games. There's a lot of boys.
It's like, there's me, and then there's the other girl in the course.
Well, you don't need boys make games because boys are stupid. They eat sand.
So, in some Blizzard news, Overwatch... Oh wait, there isn't any Overwatch news this week.
But there is some WoW news.
Ooh.
Today the Tomb of Sargeras says the raid has come out. Exciting. Woo.
I play good games.
Like, wow.
You don't play any games. We know this now.
I actually
also-
forgot about that.
Yeah. Also, they have a new launcher.
This is just like a
They
layout
just,
fix?
It's
Or-
a Battle.net was the thing that it was. And now they're just rebranding it to Blizzard Launcher because...
That took them a while.
Yeah,
that was
because-
announced so long ago.
Yeah,
Yeah, it
and it
was.
just finally went through. Just being, on brand.
So it's
now.
just rebranded? There wasn't like
Yeah.
any layout changes or anything?
Not that I'm
okay.
aware of.
Yeah, there's no layout changes. One thing that is getting changed, which will relate to this next story, so I'll let you know in the next story there is something new. But basically, they've changed it to the Blizzard launcher. They want to get like a unified branding thing going on because at the time it was cool to have Battle.net. It was a different thing, but now it's
Because,
just
you
everybody's
had
got
your
a launcher.
battle ID.
Yeah.
And like that would have been before Steam.
Yeah,
So like it was
exactly.
the one game launcher they ever had.
So they still have the website battle.net, but eventually they'll phase that out to be, it'll link to their new website or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
The Battle.net launcher was not before Steam.
It was Diablo 2.
Not the launcher. Not the launcher.
No, but
Battle.net.
Battle.net, yeah,
Oh,
Battle.net
okay.
was, but not the launcher. That only
I
came...
don't think he said the launcher.
we were
think I did.
talking about the launcher.
Fair enough.
But yeah, that was around for a long time.
I'm done.
And so, what the news is with Blizzard is that the original StarCraft, along with
StarCraft 1.
StarCraft 1,
Right.
with the Brood War expansion, is getting a remaster.
Okay.
So is the expansion going to come out as a part of the just like one-time purchase, or do I have to
Yeah.
buy the game and the expansion?
Nah, so it's all a part of the one-time purchase. Basically, the whole thing, it was announced at a South Korean event, which is I Heart StarCraft. Or I Less Than 3 StarCraft. I can't
course.
tell how it's pronounced, but it's one of those.
You'll figure it out one day.
I'll figure it out. So they're updating it so that it works with up to 4K. It's got refreshed audio, it supports the Blizzard launcher, and they're adding matchmaking to it.
Cool. So, it's just
that's
like
nice.
an all-around smooth remaster that isn't
Yeah.
too bullshit or anything.
Yeah.
Not
nice.
changing like any of the game. So that's nice.
So they've very specifically said, we promise you we will not mess with the gameplay. Please don't hate us.
that has
Yeah.
a
We're not going to
ridiculous
change the
cult following.
gameplay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially since they announced it at South Korea because
It's still
there's such a huge following
Yeah.
even for StarCraft 1. So
Oh, yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
it's still big.
it's a big deal. So there's going to also be some narrative interludes. So
Right.
there's going to be some little bits of more story, I guess, fleshed out in between the
I think
story
maybe
campaign.
stuff that they like are able to go back and add since expanding on the world further with the other games.
I
Probably.
look really forward to the remaster because what I did once was I watched. It's just on YouTube. They call it just the StarCraft movie, where they edited all the cutscenes together,
I've
and
seen
like
that.
Oh, yeah.
and like some parts of the gameplay show you happened.
Yeah.
I look forward to rewatching that of the remaster, so everything looks prettier. Because StarCraft has a pretty cool story.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna get it and play it. I've played StarCraft 2, but never won. So
Well, yeah, because it's the hardest game ever.
I'm into it. I like that side of the game.
So they haven't revealed what the price will be yet. But before this comes out, there is actually going to be an update for StarCraft, which is the first update for StarCraft that's come out in quite a while.
Yeah.
As you can imagine. And there'll be just like a few like bug fixes and stuff for the original one. And the original one is going to be completely free.
Okay.
So yeah, that's
But
gonna
it
be a
just
thing.
won't have like the new interludes and the matchmaking.
Yeah, exactly. So it won't have any of that new stuff.
That's a good way to do a remaster. I love it when they make things free. Oh,
Yeah.
They're like, hey, here's this and here's the better one for money.
Yeah.
But it's like, if you pour, just get the...
They did that with
get
Mass
the free one.
Effect, and then the one that was money was not better. But I got Mass Effect 2 for free, so I might play that sometime.
Maybe, yeah.
It's very interesting that they are doing this, because there's some things like Blizzard have very specifically...
Like, it raises a lot of, like, whoa, what if they did this with WoW? What if they gave us the, the Whatlock service that we all just want?
Yeah, so there's, like, I've seen a lot of people online just be like, oh, can we get Diablo 1 and 2 remasters? Like, people love classic Blizzard games, and they just want them to do that. And Blizzard have been like, oh, we're not like stuck in the past. We want to move forwards, and especially
well, like
with WoW.
they do have a limited amount of like manpower. They would want to make new content. Of course, they could hire new people to do it, but like
I have too many jokes in my head going right now and making fun of WoW, how it's stuck in the past.
Yeah, that's yeah.
I mean, like
Sure you have too many jokes
that was
in
the
your
joke.
head?
Yeah.
like
Sounds like half a joke
like
about
literally the past like 3 expansions have been mainly cutscenes from the past. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, why
There's
does
a retcon the expansion part.
why does
3.
Illidan get 2 expansions, but the Lich King only gets 1?
The Lichkin?
Well, maybe the Lich King will have the next one.
Isn't he dead?
The Lich
Happened to
King
Lich
is
King?
never dead.
There must always be a Lich King.
Oh, there's always Lich King?
Yeah.
Yes.
That's how...
That was
That's how
their
kings
excuse
work.
for having a new Lich King. It doesn't make sense in the lore, but that's their excuse.
Who was the Lich King before Blonde Boy?
No one.
Sure.
A story about GameStop. We love GameStop, even though we don't have it here, but we kind of do because it's EB Games.
It's just rebranded like Hungry Jacks.
Yeah, that's
Exactly.
weird.
So basically, 255 stores worldwide will be closing for GameStop.
Okay.
So those numbers are according to GameSpot. Because there's basically they're cutting down 2 to 3% of their worldwide stores, and based on numbers they have for how many stores they have, it's
Okay.
about
Are
255.
Is 250 only 2 to 3%?
Yeah.
Holy shit.
So, are any of them Australian still EB Games?
We don't know the specific stores because they said they anticipate closing them worldwide. So obviously, like underperforming stores and
Because
stuff.
they're also increasing the amount of collectible stores.
Yeah, they
And
are.
I think that the Australian EB Games is GameStop, but just rebranded. Of course,
Yeah, they own Zing.
They're combining themselves with the other GameStop store, which is Zing, which is like pure like collectible tat sort of stuff.
A lot of tat.
Yeah, that's all it is. And some board games. So
Tat and board games.
So it's interesting to see what's going to happen.
Oh, yeah.
I don't care that much because I just buy things online, but
Yeah.
I like going in there to look at the things that I wouldn't like. That's overpriced.
I like going in there and
Yeah.
looking at things I can't buy.
Yeah.
So basically what happened was they had lower than expected sales. So there was a disappointing holiday season, and Black Friday, they blamed, there's a lot of competition on Black Friday because there was sales for consoles at other places that weren't our store.
Well, that's always been the case.
Yeah.
That's not how it works.
So, and they also, so basically their profits were down 13.6%, and their stocks actually plunged 31%, which is pretty bad.
That is ridiculous.
Yeah. And they also said that was due to the weak sale of certain AAA titles. So, yeah, they've, basically they're looking pretty bad on selling the games, but
Well,
yeah.
maybe they should open up into the indie market. Maybe follow the industry a little bit there.
Maybe they should
GameStop.
stop being dicks.
Yeah, if they
don't-
weren't dicks, it would be okay.
Don't resell
Like,
used games.
It's hard for me to be... Like, normally I'd be, like, sad about a company failing, but... So many dick moves they've done.
Yeah.
So many.
Yeah.
I don't know any of them. Apart from,
We
like, blinding
do.
me with, like, just absolute showers
the
of sale
reselling
signs.
of the used games that people.
Oh,
sell
yeah, that was
games
on the
and
news
then
in something we talked about.
Yeah.
Huh?
Like,
Yeah,
they're not
but-
evil, but they're not good.
They like constantly have sales, but they're not actually sale prices. They just market it as a sale price.
Yeah, that's just real good business, though, because those sales fucking work.
I know they do, but it's like
It's not cool.
Give me a
But
sale.
Being a business isn't cool anyway.
I can't hate
Fucking
on them, though,
corporations.
because I got Doom for $20.
It's because you're a millennial.
That's true.
We're all
those
millennials
damn
now.
millennials. Also, the exact number for collectible sales is that it's increased at 27.8%.
Okay.
I thought you were going to stop.
No.
But then I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah. Go on.
And the plan is to open 35 new collectible stores and 65 new stores in general. Obviously, just shutting down the lower performing stores and opening up new ones. But yeah, that's what's going on with GameStop.
Still a big amount of news.
Yeah. So our final bit of news is a bit of news that we didn't really want to cover on the podcast previously because it wasn't really gaming news, but it's...
I mean, it's just...
It was a gamer making some news.
You're just like quite an irrelevant gamer as well. Like, really.
It was always relevant in my heart.
But like...
He still gets at least 1 million views every video he puts out. Like, it's
every
consistent,
video
but he doesn't put out videos
uploads,
much.
you know, like once a year.
Yeah.
So basically, this is a story that's been developing over a couple of months, but it's only recently actually become gaming news because something has happened. So I'm going to take you through basically what has happened, and we'll...
Here's the tea.
So here's the deal with JonTron. So basically, JonTron is a YouTuber. He started off making his JonTrons, which are just basically like they started forming into high production value, but it was basically like cuts of him, cuts of the game, and it was like a very specific format that's very similar to like
AVGN.
Angry Video Game Nerd, things like that.
Like, definitely.
That was, AVGN was one of his big inspirations.
Yeah, he said that a lot.
And then from there, he moved on to Game Grumps. From Game Grumps, he eventually left Game
separated
Grumps.
from Game Grumps and just started doing little skits, video game related skits, little let's play sort of things.
Branched out to movies as well. He's pretty much all you need to know. He's just a YouTuber who has quite a large following, predominantly children.
Even though he's a dick, he's one of the funniest YouTubers ever.
All
and I don't
his,
like that.
All his, Game Grumps videos are still on the Game Grumps channel, so a lot of little kids find that content and then migrate over.
And like I've got to say, prefacing this, JonTrons are some of my favorite YouTube videos. Like, they're
same.
terrific. Like
they're so good.
But basically, so what has happened is JonTron's been cut from Ukulele, where he had a very minor voice role. The developer Platonic has basically said that due to JonTron's controversial opinions that he's been expressing recently, they've said that because of these, they have decided to remove him from the game because they don't want to be associated with the kind of things that he's saying.
Yeah, understandable.
And what has he been saying?
So the comments that he's made are 2 years... So he recorded these voice lines about 2 years ago. Well, that's when his involvement was sealed with the company. So it was 2 years ago, and he's obviously... This has happened since then.
They would have paid him already and he would have signed a release form. So they can do what they would like legally with his little voice lines.
Well, yeah, so JonTron is a contractor for them. He's not signed on with them or anything. He's not an employee. He's contracted to do the voice roles. They have no obligation to keep him in the game.
Yeah.
So, basically, what's happened generally about JonTron is this whole thing started because he made a comment on Twitter which was defending a politician, Steve King, who stated that we can't restore our civilization with somebody else's babies. Basically referring to like immigration and things like that, like just introducing them.
That politician is very pro Trump's wall.
Yeah, he's a very right-wing politician. So basically,
like a right-wang politician.
Yeah, there's a difference between right-wing and right-wang.
So JonTron said that his response to it was that, he doesn't want his country invaded by people who have contempt for his culture and people. He must be a Nazi, like, obviously.
Yeah.
A very sarcastic comment. So, from there, JonTron had a live stream debate with Stephen Bonner.
People reacted to that tweet, and
course.
he reacted very negatively to their reaction tweets, calling them, like, PC and social justice warriors and sort of thing.
To be completely fair, like, flatline fairness, people attacked him, and he defended himself. He defended himself in a in a way that isn't the greatest when you're a public figure, but he defended himself in a normal way for a person.
I think that if you're gonna put out such a controversial and, in my opinion, inhumane opinion, that's my opinion, and he's allowed to have his own opinion. But I think if you're gonna have put an opinion out there, you need to be prepared for people to retaliate. And if you are a public figure, which he is, you need to act like a professional. Don't have a tantrum, which he was definitely having a tantrum.
Oh yeah.
So basically what happened from there, he had a live stream debate with Stephen Bonnell, who's somebody who does a lot of debates and things like this.
Yeah.
JonTron does not. He does not do a lot of debates. He was not at all prepared for this.
He wasn't prepared. Like, I don't even think he wrote notes.
Yeah, like, he basically, he made many controversial statements about race and immigration, and then he made a video following that just being very unapologetic about the, like, blatant facts that are just incorrect. And just saying, but this is my opinion, but a lot of it was,
making up a bunch of stuff, like random facts to support his opinion, but it was like, what's the one about the rich black
the rich black people commit more crimes than poor white people,
which is just wrong. That's not correct.
It's straight up incorrect.
Maybe he thought no one knew Google.
Yeah.
I'll get away with this.
He's the only one that knows how to use the Google.
He said, it's a fact, look it up. Many people have looked it up, and actually, there's very much nothing to support this whatsoever.
Yeah,
it's a fact, look it up. Okay, wait, hold on.
Stop, wait, come back.
Hold on, no, wait, don't actually do it.
Another tweet that has come from him is that discrimination no longer exists in Western countries because people in hijabs can buy Big Macs.
Can get a Big Mac.
Yeah. So apparently, if that exists, then there's no racial discrimination.
It was actually not people; it's just women because
because hijab.
Yeah, and they're no longer oppressed because of it.
And he also said that if you claim that discrimination exists in Western countries, you're living in a fantasy land. So that's not condescending at all.
He's just a delusional man.
Yeah, I was about to say, if anyone knows something about fantasy lands, it might be him. Crazy. This is what's confused me so much, because one of the biggest YouTubers that's spoken up about it is Sky Williams, who's had a lot of great opinions on it, and he is someone who is a part of quite a minority.
He's gay and black.
So yeah, Sky has said a lot of stuff about, he's been like this the entire time. He's just spoken up about it now, and you enjoyed his content when he didn't speak up about it. But his time on Game Grumps, he was quite open about how he felt about a lot of things.
Because I personally only found Game Grumps, real late in the game. Danny had been there a couple years when I found it. So I just never bothered to watch any of the JonTron stuff.
See, I've gone back and watched a lot
recently
of them.
someone sent me a link, and he's just saying the N-word,
Yeah, well, that's something, though. He just threw it down, but that was kind of like it's funny because I'm saying the N-word, right?
Yeah, which is... No.
But, at no point does he, express any persuasion toward any political things. So I think he's gotten more political over the years.
It's, more subtle, but there's one where he says it, 4 times in a row, angrily.
Yeah. Game Grumps has specifically always tried to not have political opinions or religious views or anything in their videos. Because, I was one to watch Game Grumps while JonTron was there. I watched nearly every video, at least for a while. And, JonTron, he never showed any of his, views, which is why I was so surprised when I found out he's a dick.
Yeah.
There have been some things, previously on Twitter, everybody knows about when he very, he got on kind of a anti-PC thing because he got attacked for using a slur against mentally handicapped people.
He said the R.
Yes. Yes.
Well,
there was a big thing about that. I think it was a little bit after that, but he claimed that a women's rights march is sexist.
Yeah.
Yeah, he said something about it's just unnecessary and stuff. which it's like very specifically not. There's a difference.
If a girl can go buy a Big Mac, she has the same rights as us.
Oh, exactly. As long as that Big Mac is just priced slightly lower.
Nice.
Oh, I like that.
So then this leads us back to Platonic. So basically, some people have suggested that this is censorship. It is very specifically not
That's
censorship.
not what censorship is.
It's a business decision.
Say what it is, and then I'll explain to you, to the viewers, why it isn't censorship.
Well, it just very specifically isn't censorship. There's no good reason people are just saying this is censorship and they're wrong.
So in response to all the things that JonTron has been saying, and every time he gets a response from somebody saying, "Hey, you're being a bit of a shit guy," he just goes and be more of a shit guy. But and in response to that, they decided, we don't want someone like you associated with our game. Because we don't agree with your stuff.
You know who they should associate with their game who would be a wonderful JonTron replacement? Danny DeVito.
Yes.
We need to have Danny DeVito replace every sound in Ukulele.
Just every sound in everything in life.
Yeah.
But yeah, so in retaliation...
Basically, what a lot of this stuff comes down to is that people say, JonTron has the freedom of speech to say what he wants, which of course he does. Just like Platonic has the freedom of speech to say, no, we don't want this as a part of our game.
It's just their choice.
Well, yeah.
It's their property, though the voice clips are their property. They're not JonTron's. He sold them.
Oh, yeah.
It's not his choice at all.
We'd like to hear them, though. They'll probably get leaked.
Probably.
Yeah.
And
so very specifically what's happening is the game is launching with his voice in it.
They
have to patch it.
Yeah.
So there definitely will be. So JonTron was... John was very... he's very just, he's like, it's unfortunate that this had to happen, but I understand. And that he wished them luck with the launch of their games, which is, very good of him.
I think that's a sign that he's coming down from the heat of everything,
well,
and that he's defended himself enough.
I honestly hope that he apologizes. I don't care about his opinions. I personally believe they're just 100% incorrect and wrong, but...
Incorrect and wrong.
Yeah.
That's how I know she's being serious.
But... that's his opinion, and I respect that that's his opinion. I just don't respect his behaviour. And I think that he needs to apologise for the behaviour.
Yeah, I understand that.
So, basically from this, there's a lot of discussion as to whether, obviously it is well within Platonic's rights, but, whether or not it was, people have said that it isn't just a morally good thing to do, based on somebody else's beliefs, just being no, because you have this belief, we're removing you from the game.
There's a difference between beliefs and opinions.
Yeah, if you have an inflammatory opinion where you believe that other people are worth less than you and don't deserve the same things that you have...
So, there have been claims that Platonic has been censoring people on the Steam forums, because...
How so?
Well, basically people have been making very unconstructive threads, saying, this is ridiculous, I want a refund and stuff, and they've been banning them from their posts have been removed from it because it's, at this point, it's literally spam. They didn't get banned. The threads got removed, and people were like, "Why are you removing this? I'm expressing my disappointment with the game."
I think that's fine, because if it is at the point where it's spam, remove it. People will obviously either reflect this in their reviews of the game or just refund it and be done.
Yeah, and also the point of a forum is moderation.
Yeah.
They think dumb thing is going to get deleted.
Your freedom of speech rules aren't being broken because someone's using their platform in a way that they were allowed to do.
There's and in that it'll be we're allowed to delete what we fucking want.
Yeah. It's not censorship.
No. You agreed to it, so
yeah.
Suck it.
People need to stop using censorship as when it's not censorship. People, it's just
need to stop.
People just need to stop.
Just stop, people. Come on.
And it's different.
Coffee.
Just like, they're just removing a small piece of their, a thread of the t-shirt of their game.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
Out of the thing, and it's their voice clip. It's not censorship. They're not censoring JonTron. He didn't hack his way into the game.
That would be so
he
funny.
He sold
though.
his voice to them.
Like if when it came to JonTron's lines, it was just like, that'd be funny.
Oh, they could just have someone else read out those tweets.
That would be good too. Danny DeVito.
Oh yeah.
He can read them out for me. Put me to sleep at night.
Is that the news?
That's it.
That's the news. We played a game.
This week's Game Fort game was Thomas Was Alone.
No,
I think we should say is because
is. I really.
But it is. But was is grammatically.
It's
correct.
grammatically correct, but then we say was twice, and that
But
sounds wrong.
you can't say it grammatically incorrect.
We can give it a try.
You mean grammar? Fuck.
Grammatically
When
incorrect.
you keep mumbling, can't make fun
I
of.
said
There once was
grammatically
many.
incorrect.
So this week's Game Fort game was Thomas Was Alone.
Crowd pleaser.
Yeah. This week's Game Fort game is Thomas Was Alone. So Thomas Was Alone was a game developed by Mike Bithell in the Unity engine. Is originally a Flash game that was released in 2010, but then it got released for PC and Mac in 2012, and now it's on pretty much everything.
Yeah, I played on my Wii U.
And they fixed it up a little in Unity. It's not a Flash game anymore.
Yeah. It's a Unity game now.
Yeah.
So what's it about?
So Thomas Was Alone is about...
It's about Thomas.
It's
about Thomas.
Thomas and friends.
Yeah. Just like the tank.
that's
Yeah, I was
copyright.
gonna make the joke.
That's copyright. That's what Thomas and Friends is called now. Thomas the Tank Engine's called Thomas and Friends now.
Really?
They keep ruining kids' shows, I know.
Oh,
There was that fucking Bananas in Pajamas is now CG, or it was now. I don't know when if it ended.
Computer
It was
generated?
Yeah.
Yes, made in a computer. Not in a
As
puppet.
opposed to originally hand-drawn. Thomas!
so the basic story of Thomas Was Alone is you're a little AI named Thomas. You're in a game.
You're a little red rectangle.
A little red rectangle.
Yeah.
And
you jump.
you...
It's a platformer. You jump.
Puzzle
platformer.
platformer.
You jump,
Yeah.
you make friends, you use your friends and be friends with your friends, and it's
You
great.
go on a little journey with your friends that you find.
I love every character in that.
Yeah.
Even though they're all
No,
squares,
I
rectangles.
didn't love Claire, but I think
I
I
love
would
Claire.
like to tell you. I
Claire's
would
my
like to tell
favourite.
you why I didn't love Claire. It's
Okay.
because I think that it hit a little too close to home for me, and I was like, "Oh, I'm freaking useless."
freaking
like,
out.
I'm like Claire. I'm useless and can't jump very good.
But Georgia, you're a superhero.
I am a
Yes,
superhero.
I was just about to
Superhero.
say that.
And the tall, lanky cape that I first get. I really liked it when they started talking about the cape, and it falls in, and John, the yellow, long rectangle, looks like a cape on Claire. And I really liked it.
Yeah.
I thought it was cute. But also, I'm like, oh god.
That's one thing about this game. It's so charming in
Yeah.
just every way. I'm gonna get this out of the way. The fucking music, man. I think it made the game for me. It's so
I definitely
good.
agree. But it's amazing how we relate so well to these characters. But they are, for those who didn't play, they are legitimately just shapes.
What brings it to me is the narrator.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was about to say, like, the sound is everything for me.
Because probably I would not read the words otherwise.
There is one thing I do have to say about the sound, though. Sometimes the sound effects were infuriating.
I disagree.
There's only so many times I can hear that jump sound
Boing.
effect, and especially at the times where you very specifically need to jump to hit one of the portals, and it goes blip 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 blip, and it keeps doing it.
I like it.
It wasn't that much of a problem for me, but on a game that is this good, it's just like, there's that
like,
one
there's
little
a
thing
thing
that's
that's-
kind of annoying me.
I disagree. I thought it was cute.
I
And
do like
think-
the bleeps and the bloops.
Yeah, for me, I think
I'm pro bleep.
it worked with the music, so it obviously didn't sound like it was a part of the song, but it worked well enough for it to not bother me. It was also a charming little boop, just like little Bastion's boops. Yeah, but no, just the sounds just made it for me. It made all the happy scenes all happy. It made it just the narrator and the music work together to make it feel like a bedtime story that's just real cute, you know?
It upset me a lot, the game. I just felt like, oh. And I think the thing that upset me the most was definitely the very last thing that apparently you guys didn't find. It's the prequel bit.
Oh no, I did that, but that was the first time I played it.
I just haven't finished the game yet.
It's this little guy called Benjamin, and he gets a jetpack from his dad, and he gets to the fountain, and you actually meet Sarah with him.
Okay.
Beforehand, when there's not all that shit that happened, and he gets to the fountain, and he goes blind, and he just stays there.
Oh damn.
Yeah, and then she, you travel like from like 8 levels with Sarah, and like you're always helping Sarah up because he has a jetpack, so he's like real great. And there's another one called Anna, and she's like done. She hates everything. She's like, I don't want to be a part of this. You're dragging me along.
Yeah.
And she just like freaks off sometime. But then, like, Sarah's, like, super into it, and she's, like, #1 fangirl for Benjamin. And then, like, he can't take her any further. And then he goes and he hits the fountain, and he goes and he's blinded. And he just stays up there, and she's waiting. But then she starts to fall, and then that's where you find her in the main story. Is after she's so fallen. Sad. It's real sad. It's the very last thing is just her falling and into just dark. I was like, oh, wow. Okay.
I'm scared to play more now because I was getting the goosebumps when Claire was about to drown. I was like, oh shit, dude, I can't deal with this. And then she floated and she was a superhero.
Yeah.
I just
just like I love how the game just each character just the way each rectangle moves.
Is their character.
Is their character.
Quadrilateral.
Yeah.
Quadrilateral moves.
Shape.
Character moves.
I also think that it's like, on the surface, if you like just look at all of the different shapes, it's like, oh, there's a diverse cast of characters, but it's also like, each character is very important the entire way through, from what I found.
Yeah,
I haven't finished it, so I can't say that for sure. Yeah. But like, even like, for like, Chris... the first character you meet,
and Chris is like when you first meet him, you're like, this guy's shit.
He's so useless, and
he
then
can't jump as high as Thomas.
Starts helping.
Yeah,
and it's like, hell yeah! Like the characters,
and even though he's a grouchy little boy,
like
fine.
He can help Thomas reach high heights. Other people reach high heights. He can
get
slip in little crevices.
The characters get to a point where instead of being a chore, and it's like, oh, I have to get them to the portal. It's like you start using them to help the other characters that are chores, and then those characters
out of everybody, for me, Chris was definitely the biggest chore.
Yes.
Because, like, every step, like, come on, buddy.
You know
but that's okay, because, I think, there's a lot of...
love.
Yeah, but it's like,
Chris and Laura, the one true pairing.
OTP.
Yeah.
Like, sometimes, people that are grouchy for a reason, and maybe they just need a little extra help, guys.
Yeah.
There's not, everything had a little nice metaphor, and I liked it.
One thing I really enjoyed was the way they introduced each character that had like a little power.
Yeah.
Like how with Claire, it was, oh no, she's about to drown. This is intense, and then she floated. And with Laura, she's like, if this guy finds out what I can do, he will leave. He'll start, like, you don't know what she could do.
Like,
and
self-conscious.
Yeah, she was like, because everyone else that knew her power would just use her and leave.
Like,
yeah. But then in the end found out they didn't leave, they were eaten by the pixel cloud.
Yeah.
Like they all had insecurities and they made friends and they were
Claire
like, these insecurities aren't so bad.
Claire had self-doubt.
And Thomas was a loner.
Thomas was a loner.
John? I liked James.
James.
You didn't meet James? James was the green inverted guy. He had inverted gravity, and he thought he was weird because he had inverted gravity, and he was like, I'm a weirdo. Nobody likes me. I can't touch people because I'm on the roof, and he didn't like people. And
he's like, hey.
He's just like, I'm gonna stay up here alone. But then he made friends with the crew, and everybody liked him, even though he was weird and on the roof.
And he's like, bye, please don't touch me.
I really liked John. Is John the long
the
yellow one?
Yeah, the yellow
yellow
one.
boy.
He's just always so happy.
He was very prideful.
so
That was
happy.
his biggest sin, was pride.
John.
But
Okay.
he came over it by like, hey, these guys aren't that bad.
He'd be like, he started with that, but then he was like,
Yeah.
oh, but these guys are helping me.
Well, every character grew.
That's what I'm saying. You're John.
No, I'm definitely John.
Before the characters,
Who are you?
Who am I?
Who are you? Rowan is definitely John.
Yeah, you're John. I don't know who I am.
Like, even aesthetically, I'm John.
Because I'm like Chris, but I'm not. I don't get angry. That's the thing.
Oh,
Like,
okay.
I'm gonna say I'm probably
Have I got-
James.
have I gotten angry?
Not that badly. Not Chris angry.
I don't get.
You get
angry.
grouchy.
I get sarcastic.
That's grouchy. I know when
Chris
Micah
is
is
very
grouchy.
sarcastic, isn't he?
Yeah,
He is
he's
a
not
bit.
sassy though. You're sassy.
Yeah.
Yes,
who,
I like
who
to
could
think
be the
of-
sassy? Who's the sassiest?
Who is the sassiest?
Because like I get sarcastic and I'm mean in a joking way, but I'm never angry. I hate the feeling of being angry. That's the thing.
No, you're Sarah.
No,
Which one?
he's not Sarah.
He's Sarah.
No, he's not Sarah.
Which one's she again? The double jump one?
Yeah,
She's
the
the
double
double
jump
jumper, and
one,
she's
but
like,
there's in the prequel, if you played the prequel, you would know
Okay.
that he is not Sarah.
Oh, okay.
Maybe not in the yeah.
I don't have
Well-
a rectangle.
You can be my Sarah.
Although, no.
No.
Ryan is
Maybe.
Thomas.
Am I?
Well,
Yeah.
no, he said he was James.
Why are you James?
I like James. I don't know why I'm James, to be honest. I just like James.
Who am I?
Claire.
You didn't just say you were Claire because you.
Well, I said I related to Claire the most, but like, is that a true assessment?
I
I see the relation now. You're just like.
squares. No, well, I'm trying to think. Like, I've only in my recent memory, the only girl character I've met is Claire. And well, in my recent memory, I've met John, which is you,
Yeah.
Thomas, which is I'm apparently Chris. You're, see, the
I
thing
don't
is, you're
think
not
you are
Thomas.
Chris, though.
Good. I don't want to be called angry. When people tell me that I'm an angry person, I get mad.
You were.
I think that you might be a little bit like Benjamin, who's the main one in the prequel.
Did you guys play it with a controller, or did you play it with mouse and keyboard? Or...
I played it on the Wii U gamepad.
Oh, yeah.
The first time I played it was keyboard. Recently, I plugged a controller into my laptop and lied down.
Oh yeah, and by the way, that was super smooth. Like, I'm someone who really liked the gamepad. Everyone hated the gamepad because it was clunky. I didn't have a problem with it. Like, a controller, from what I could tell, is the way to go.
Yeah, I played it with mouse and keyboard, and then I was like, oh, I can use a controller for this game. And I did, and it's like, is just a little bit better. Like, it works fine with mouse and keyboard, obviously.
Yeah.
It's a platformer, but...
I was only using the keyboard. Was there something I was meant to be using the mouse for?
Oh, no.
Okay.
No,
I was
just-
like, oh no.
Mouse and keyboard sort of thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's just, yeah.
Just made a big mistake.
Yeah, some of the things, like... How did you find... Oh,
I'm not good at platformers. Like, I'm just gonna put it out there. I'm real bad at platformers. I got
same.
very frustrated, especially in like some of the later solo Claire bits. I was like, please just do it.
Yeah,
And then when it was specifically the one that you have to repeat straight away afterwards, but with another character there.
that was the most annoying
Because
part.
I spent so long trying to just do it with Claire alone.
That was
and I
Claire
was like,
and Chris, right?
yes.
Yeah, I got very frustrated.
I was
that time.
like, please no.
And I'm
But
like generally okay
then
with
after
platformers.
that, I'm not. I'm just not. I just don't know. I like them. I have no problem with them.
I like really far away from my
But
camera.
I just am bad. It's not my thing.
It doesn't punish you too badly for being bad,
No,
but at
it-
some points you can lose a lot of progress from just missing a jump.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I made my way through fairly easily, but it was just
Like,
frustrating at
yeah.
I
times.
enjoyed it though. Like whenever you were like, okay, that's a ledge that's too high for me to reach. If just trying to figure out how to get to places
Yeah.
was always really fun. The puzzle mechanics were just really enjoyable.
They weren't. I would like it if maybe the puzzle aspects were a little more difficult. Because it's just like, these are the pieces you have because these are the pieces you would need. I would like it maybe if you had some characters that, you didn't need specifically. So that maybe you could find some, like, alternate ways.
That would be cool.
Yeah.
If they dishonored it a little bit. But nah, like that is something, like, I like the puzzles, but at the same time, like with Portal I've played it and been like, oh, I had a moment where I was like, all right, this is what I do.
Yeah.
Like, I just got to get to the parallel.
Yeah, you just gotta like...
It's up and to the right.
Yeah, yeah. Which is actually, like the narrator makes a little up and to the right joke. There are a lot of little tiny fourth wall breaks. Not really. Like, they refer to everything as levels and stuff.
Yeah.
But I really like the way everything was presented is just perfect for me.
Oh yeah, it's beautiful. It's an incredibly simple style. It's aesthetically very simple. It's shapes and there's the mid ground, which is the platforms, and there's a background. But that's it. There's some little stuff in the background.
The water looks like the water's the most complicated looking thing.
Yeah,
and it's
just
simple.
It's two colors and
when
it's a line on top of a
when someone who's in clay
color.
lands in the water and they disintegrate. Oh
yeah,
I'm watching.
Then your heart disintegrates.
Yes, I'm watching it. It's like, oh man, I cared about that one.
Oh, it was really with Benjamin. You're constantly like having to lift Anna up, and it's so scary because the jetpack is like so shaky, and it's very much like with Anna and Sarah lifting them because Anna is a long lying down rectangle. Okay. So if you knock to the side, you're gonna knock Anna off,
right?
And then she dies, and you're like, "Oh, I've killed Anna." And then you have to like restart, obviously. But it's very. I felt so responsible for them, and because you're like Benjamin is the one that needs to move. He's the only one that can like go up, like jump with a person there, right on top of them. Yeah. So
except Claire in the water.
Well, that's water powers.
Well, there's actually something I wanted to bring up that ties into the thing we talked about last week, graphics versus gameplay. How would you be able to fathom this game if they replaced all of the quadrilaterals with characters?
No.
Little people that all looks like what you're imagining the people are? Because I feel like a huge part of the connection with the characters is you don't necessarily imagine what they'll look like if they're people, but because they're just shapes, you fill in the blanks.
Thing, and then
you can fill in the blanks
very
about who they are. So do you feel like this game would lose a lot of its charm if it were just little marshmallow people or something like that?
It would not be the same. It would be...
I think it's a perfect example of a game that needs to have quote-unquote bad graphics.
Yeah.
Like, well, I don't consider it bad graphics. I think it's done very well. It's aesthetically pleasing.
That's why I said quote-unquote, so we don't have to get into this again.
No. When you compare it to other games that I've like really enjoyed that have like a strong narration, like the Stanley Parable and Bastion, I've not played that.
Ooh.
But specifically in the Stanley Parable, you don't see you. Do you?
You don't see you.
Yeah.
You very specifically don't see you.
Yeah. I was wondering if there was a cutscene. But yeah, you don't see, and it's just you. I didn't relate to Stanley. Maybe because his name was Stanley. That's my cousin, my dog cousin's name.
Your dog cousin's name?
He's my cousin. He's a dog. Yes. I also have Doug and Floyd.
Are they also cousins?
Yeah.
Okay. Are they all like brothers?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And are they all dogs?
No, Floyd is a cat.
Okay.
There was Tilly, who was a cat, and there was also Ralph. Ralphie.
So how are Floyd and the other ones brothers? Are they stepbrothers? Because they're different.
They're just dogs.
Oh, okay.
Don't tell them.
So
they
yes,
don't
stepbrothers.
No, if they're adopted is different to step.
Oh yeah. Wait, no.
They're specifically different.
I always mix that up. I always do that. Anyway.
Moving
on.
I related to it a lot more than that or Bastion, which it's maybe because you are separated from the character and you are not any specific character, you just control them. Yeah. But I don't know, I just felt like the narration was done spectacularly. Really much better than any other game, and I like really did enjoy like Stanley Parable and Bastion. Like I really do like those games, but this is just done much better.
Yeah,
it really has.
Yeah, the story is just real great.
It's just got a lovely narrative, I feel.
And
it's so simple.
The narration just perfectly complements what's happening in the game when it happens.
So one thing I really wanted to point out about this game is one of my favorite things that games do is perfectly capturing like without saying, like, obviously there is the narrator, but without saying anything, it tells a story so well. Like even, like, for example, like, Chris, he's the small one and everything, he's, like, cynical, and he's like, oh, you know, but they're all helping each other, and the fact that, like, the characters' heights match up a perfect amount so that you can, like, to compare to their jump heights, and, like, how Chris needs the most help out of everyone, so you're, like, as you're playing, you're getting a story beyond a story that's being told. Yeah, you're just feeling like...
I disagree a little bit. I think that without the narration, it would be useless. Obviously, it's supported...
the narration supports. Like, that's what I'm saying. It supports perfectly with...
No, I think that the narration is supported by the visuals. The visuals are just there. You know, it wouldn't matter. And I think that if there was no narration, you would not see Chris as cynical. You wouldn't even know that his name was Chris.
Yeah, that's what I was saying about the bedtime story thing. Like, he kind of, the narrator does little, like, he puts a lot of inflection and, like, gets into the character while still talking about them. He's kind of like every character's conscience.
Well, because it's like, you know, Chris thought. And then he, like, kind of goes, like, a tone of Chris. Not a voice, but a tone.
Exactly. Which is so effective.
Yeah, it's great.
Well, the thing that I'm saying is, like, that the times between, because you get, like, little bits of narration, maybe a couple per level kind of thing. But it's the...
Good for.
Yeah. But it's the things like the fact that, like, you're playing as Chris and you're getting a narration in the way that, like, Chris, as it goes on, starts to become more friends with them. And that is narrated, but the reason he's becoming more friends with them is something that you can physically see, is everybody's helping him.
But they do say that in the narration as well.
No,
that's what I'm saying. It's supporting each other.
They support
each other without the other.
Such a good way.
Yeah, I agree, but I think it's definitely, like, it's 80% narration, and
I would not say that.
I completely disagree.
Because you could have Chris look the same as Thomas, and it would be the same.
I would say that
no, it would not. No, so much.
That's
obviously
it
would ruin
Wasn't Chris's
the
thing
size.
That he's the smallest?
Yeah, his thing is specifically the size.
I don't mean the size. I mean, like, they were both red, you know, because that's the first thing that you notice. Like, they're both red, and they both can, you know, jump the same. But Chris is smaller. That's still some differences, but it's, you know, that's just a small aspect, and it's more of a mechanic.
You wouldn't know why he's cynical, though.
Yeah, but he's not cynical because of that. He's cynical because he's like, who is this red guy? I am being the hero here. That's at the start of Chris.
Yeah.
Let's say that the game is, everything is exactly as it is, except Chris can jump the same amount as Thomas. I feel the narrative is not as powerful.
Also, like, a part of that was also Chris kind of being annoyed at Tom for, like, showing off, even though Tom really wasn't.
I think they go exactly hand in hand
and
trying to...
I just think that, you know, what they did is they made the mechanics, they made the game, and then they put a story to it. And I think that the story really... If they didn't have that, and if it was just Shapes, the game, and there was no narration, there wasn't anything talking, I think it would be like a really bad game. Even though there are the differences in Shapes and everything else is the same. There's just there's no Chris, there's no Thomas, it's just...
The way I like
Shape was alone.
The way I like to think about the game is if you completely remove the narration and get in a really pretentious art student, he could tell you that story from what the characters are doing.
I disagree. I think that you could tell what the character looked like, but that's it.
Everyone's kind of trying to say is that they got the characters and then they pulled the story from what they look like, and the story makes up what the characters are, and they work perfectly together. And I think from different perspectives, here's that subjective word coming up all up in your face again. I think that you can be like, oh yeah, I think it's 80% narration, 20% the visuals, and some people could be like, it's exactly 50-50. I think what they actually did is they were like, they either made the characters and then wrote a story about them, or they wrote the story and then made the characters from that.
My point is, I very specifically think that they wrote the story first.
Yeah, that's what you guys are arguing about, like which one they did first.
Yeah, kind of. As somebody that comes from a concept art, that's just what I'm doing. You can't look at Chris and know that he's cynical. You just can't. He's an orange square.
You can't know he's cynical, but you can know that he's
an underdog. I completely disagree.
I have the facts. So yeah, from listening to Mike Bithel's podcast and seeing some of his tweets, he made the mechanics first, and then the story came after. Because
do you think that maybe perhaps he went obviously mechanics. Then he said, okay, so small square, cynical because of this.
And I'll say what he tweeted out actually.
Okay.
It was when I made Thomas Was Alone, I thought I made an excellent platformer with an okay story, but then ended up making an excellent story with okay platform behind it.
Yeah.
So what actually happened was I don't think at any point, I think the story was kind of tacked on, but not in a bad way. It ended up making something just organically that ended up being really good because of how the mechanics worked already. It's like,
I think kind of like an argument we had last week as well. A lot of this we don't know the facts on because we aren't the development team.
So my final thoughts on the game were I loved it. I personally, I'm not very good at platformers, but this one was very easy. There were some things that I do find frustrating, which is honestly more of a problem with platformers than anything. Like, for example, some of the double jumps required you to have like perfect timing to be able to get up to a certain platform and things like that.
That one with Claire where you have to be, I think it's Claire, it's one of the squares. Yes, you have to be right on the edge before.
Yeah, you kind of have
really? Under the spikes.
Yeah.
That sounds frustrating.
Yeah. So some of those things are like, but it's just kind of a thing if that's what platformers are. Like there's no challenge if you're not doing those kinds of things, but it just kind of found itself frustrating. But, I love everything about it, like, just the way that the mechanics narrated with the story, the mechanics merge with the story in a really nice way. Yeah. The only negative things I have to say are sometimes the physics is a bit screwy with moving platforms, and sometimes the sound effects got a little bit annoying.
Yeah.
When you have too many characters and you're flicking between them, it takes ages because there's one point where you have the jump crew who are 5 characters, then you have another 3, and you're scrolling through each individual one.
Annoying.
It's a bit annoying.
Well, there is a little thing on the bottom right that shows you which character. You can choose to go right or left.
It's more of a problem with me being dumb, but
when
it's still,
when it's 3 or 4, it's fine like that because you just, but when it's 6 or 7 characters, you're like, oh.
Was there one button to change on
no,
there's 2.
Okay.
But it's still like a bit annoying to get to.
Yeah, I get that.
Because if you're at 7 and you're trying to get to 3, it's like...
it's
and
still
there's also in the later parts of the game, all the cubes are grey. Unless you pick up a certain power up. Yeah, so scrolling through those. But those are minor gripes. The final act of the game, they don't flesh out the characters as much as they do the first act of the game.
Oh, okay.
But besides that, I love the game. It was spectacular. Any gripe I have with it is very minor.
Well, yeah.
So yeah, I give it 5 nugs out of 6.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
For me, I really liked it. It was fun. I got a little frustrated, but that's just, it was
a platformer thing.
It was a platformer thing because it was weirdly, the puzzles were so easy, but I'm bad at platformers, so I was just frustrated and a lack of stimulus because the puzzles were so easy.
Yeah.
But, that's, not every... different levels. It's fine. It was fun still. I enjoyed it overall. I loved the story. The sound design was great. Visually, it was a very appealing game. I think that the sound design, even specifically the music, maybe had something to do with why I was more attached to the characters of the prequel rather than the main story. Even though I spent more time with the main story people.
Yeah.
But it was just real. The prequel really got me. I just really liked Benjamin and Benjamin's dad and Anna and Sarah. And I know Sarah's in but she is first in the prequel, sort of. But I just loved it. Yeah, I loved it, and it was really just really epic, hopeful, and it was about hope. That was one of the main things about his hope and stuff. It doesn't go well, but it's good. 4 out of 6 nugs, but there's also a popcorn chicken there. For free.
For free.
Yeah.
I got sucked in very quickly because the first thing you experience is the music and the narration, and that's my favorite part about it. And then you experience, the puzzle platformer side, which I think is very simple, not hard, but still fun without being boring, which is, hard to be all for, but I enjoyed a lot of it. I never got to a point further in the game, so I can't say if it gets harder. Apparently it gets more frustrating, which
just in specific bits where it's clearly a little bit of dodgy game design, really. Right.
But yeah, I think everything worked together really well, and I definitely really, really want to finish it. I think more so than most other games we've played here. I really want to just get through that. But yeah, I think I would personally just give it a 5. It was good. I liked it. Delicious.
Wonderful.
I agree with what George just said. I would have felt specifically also in narrative through mechanics and things like that, if there was more emphasis on puzzle and platforming. And then it would the challenges themselves would have been more fun. Because the platforming itself isn't that spectacular.
I think it's just missed potential.
Yeah, I feel that's a good way to describe just missed potential. But I still love the game.
Yeah.
Just everything came together so beautifully. It's just the emphasis on okay-ish platforming and some parts being frustrating because of that just brings it down from just being a perfect experience. That's why I would give it 5 nugs as well.
Excellent.
That's almost 6.
That's almost 6.
That's almost 6.
So
that's
that is 19 nugs out of 24 for Thomas Was Alone.
19.5.
19 nugs and a popcorn chicken for Thomas Was Alone.
Piece of shit.
Don't forget the popcorn chicken. It's very important.
It's free.
It's free.
Hey, Micah.
What you been playing? What you been playing, Micah?
What have you been playing?
I haven't been playing much. I've been a busy boy, but I set at times some side to play some Vermintide with my buddy Rowan. Right here.
Thanks again for the invite. Rowan gave me that game and has never played it with me.
He really wants all of us to play it, so I'm surprised that you weren't.
Thanks for the invite. Thanks.
You're welcome. We'll play it this week.
Right up in the microphone.
I assumed you would cut it.
I would invite you if I just didn't do it quickly so I do more art afterwards.
Oh, no, I don't care.
Yeah,
I'm not actually upset, Rowan.
I was I don't want to see Georgia.
We played it.
I was probably asleep. So.
The secret to enjoying that game
is play it on easy.
Play it on easy. Except you'll enjoy it up until you get the loot drop. Then you're just
You're I should have just whacked for it.
The loot, it's fun. There's not really much to say about it. Left 4 Dead clone that's still real fun. That
much
has
Left 4 Dead.
Different classes, I guess.
Much
it would be
Left 4 Dead.
I feel it's still a game where I can see why so many people have put so many hours into it, just because it's so much harder to play at the higher levels. I've played briefly at high levels, and it's fun because there's just so much more strategy, because there's friendly fire and stuff like that. You have to every corner. Friendly fire, but just for explosives.
No, I was specifically saying the only times I hit you was with explosives. You're in the middle of the huge swarm of them.
The sheer
I throw a bomb right at you.
Dude, I do that. I do that myself.
Yeah.
But just that game is so much fun, and there's so much more strategy as well. It's every time there comes just a wave, you need to find a corner and your 3 friends and hope you survive.
Yeah.
That is very Left 4 Dead.
Every time there's this one map I've played.
It's hey, let's just sit in the corner and wait the horde out. Please squat so I don't hit you.
Yeah, there's one map I play that every single time we get to a certain point on it, every single time without fail in the chat I see Rowan go, come to this corner.
I did last time as well, and we were on easy.
Nah, every time.
But that's how you train. That's how you do it. That's how you get good.
One of the parts that adds a lot to the game is there's optional things you can find that kind of handicap you, but you get better loot at the end. You can find a tome that takes up an item slot, so you can't heal. And there's some things that give you less health. Yeah. But if you get those all together, your loot at the end is so much better, but it makes it so much harder to get. So
that's cool, because once you advance to the very top level, and then you're alright, this is boring because I'm so great at games. Yeah. Then you got that.
It adds a lot of risk reward.
Yeah.
And that game will it's so much fun, just murdering rat people, hearing the interactions between the characters, even though you've heard it 20 times so far.
I have gotten better at headshots, so it's real nice hearing you go, "It was a good shot, lassie."
I always play the dwarf, and...
Which is a problem for when we play together, because Ryan always plays the dwarf.
Ryan,
I also think we're going to have a problem when we play together, because I play
the pinkest one?
No, there is no pink one. I play the tallest elf girl, and I cannot play anyone else.
Oh.
And that is exactly my thing as well.
Is there another girl?
I think so.
There's a mage.
No, I love mages.
Perfect. The mage is actually really fun to play as well, because that's like another risk-reward thing. It's like, the more, especially if she does pyromancy, the more she uses the fire, the closer she gets to burning herself. And if you just go crazy, you can set yourself aflame.
I should play the other classes at some point.
Yeah, and it's like... So I've played this game a lot. I haven't played that much. And each character is so different. The only characters I would say are mildly similar is the dwarf and the soldier. But he's still he has an entirely different role just because he's higher and less emphasis on defense.
Yeah.
Like, the dwarf is all it's all about defense, even if it's defense through offense. Like, he has a bunch of big weapons they can push entire hordes away with. And just so much fun trying to get new weapons, murdering things, finding new strategies, synergies between the characters. It's a good game.
Yeah, it's fun, because there's, little strategy things, and you can, melt weapons into some shit sword, whatever the fuck. There are little strategies you can do in the tavern.
I've made too many mistakes with the crafting system, just ruining weapons I needed. Oof.
But you can also say, fuck that, and just play the game for funsies.
Yeah.
What have you guys been doing, though? Because that's all we've played.
I haven't played much new. I've mostly been playing, I've still been playing Guild Wars. It's been... I've got a bit of assessment at the moment, so I've mostly been logging on just to do the dailies.
A bit of a statement.
Yeah. So I've just been, logging in, do the daily stuff, get all that done. It took me till level 60 to realise don't really like the Elementalist, so...
Really?
Luckily I have, character boosts to level 40, so I'm
That's
gonna
good.
try out something else. But yeah, it took me a while to realise, don't really like it that much.
I've been playing Guild Wars a lot as well.
Yeah?
I am doing the daily, but then I'm going ahead and playing for another 3 hours after I do the daily.
Well, there you
despite my ever-looming assessment dates. But I recently bought the expansion for the stuff when you hit level 80, because I have 2 level 80 characters, so...
Yeah, what does that add, do you know? Because
Lots
as
of
far as
stuff.
I know, I thought it just Does it add a new area at all?
Several.
It should,
Several new areas, several new zones. They're all really fun.
Cool.
I'm really, it's an improvement. They, the end... Sort of the level 80, level 70 through 80, there's no more hearts to do. You just run around doing the events and getting the points and stuff.
Yeah.
It's like that, but then there's heaps more events, heaps other things to do, and it's just really cool. You don't level from level 80 anymore. You stay at level 80, but then you gain mastery, and you level your mastery, and you're specifically training in specific things, and you can choose what to train in, and you go to the area, because you can only train things in specific areas, because they're specific to the area, there's mushrooms, and you have to be in the area with the frog people to train on the mushroom stuff.
That's cool.
It is cool. It's really fun. I've been doing the fractals, which are dungeons, and just pugging them. I played with some of my friends. One of my friends is real bad at the game. Hey, Quentin.
Have you played World vs. World at all?
I have played it in the past. It's not my thing.
I had a lot of fun with it. It's also a really easy way to get daily done as well.
No. It is
there's separate dailies now.
Yeah.
Not always, but
I've never touched World vs.
World. First of all, it's really fun, except when it's not. Because there's a lot of running and doing nothing. Yeah. But when you're actually in the battle, it's really good.
I really don't know how I keep on... Because I'm 60% certain I have the most hours in Guild Wars 2. I don't know how I keep playing games so much and not knowing anything about it.
In complete total, I have 125 hours of Guild Wars over the 5 years that I've had the game.
Yeah, I have 130, so pretty much the same.
I would have the same as well, actually.
In the past 18 days, my character, who's my level 80 character, my first, my main, I have had her for 18 days, and I have played about 72 hours and some change on her. So I've played 3 full days of her during
last 18 days.
That's pretty messed up. Like, there has been a couple times where I've just left it open and walked away because I'm waiting for a world boss.
Yeah.
But
those are usually only an hour.
Yeah, but oh my gosh. What is going on with me? Maybe I need some help.
What's happening?
Yeah.